DFG Science TV, Stone Age Giants, the Trail of Rocks, from portal tombs to graves and their builders.
Lüdelsen, Saxony-Anhalt, a spot of untouched wilderness, calm and peaceful. But today a group of researchers from Kiel are here, where only hikers venture normally, to get to work on the Königsgrab, but not with shovels, spades, trowels and brushes. The researchers from Kiel are examining the soil without moving a single clod of earth. Instead, they're using a georadar system, which measures reflections in the soil using electromagnetic radar waves. By moving the antenna along over the ground, we can see reflections that are picked up from under the ground. And if these reflections more or less match the archaeologists' expectations, we know that what we can see are the reflections of archaeological objects. The geophysicist Ercan Erkul and the archaeologist Dennis Demnik are in charge of the measurements in Lüdelsen. For Dennis Demnik, these 2 days in the field are very important. We don't know exactly where to dig to find anything worthwhile. For example, should we dig right in front of the grave, or are there other burial sites within the area surrounding the grave? They are just assumptions, we have yet to confirm that. Geophysics enables us to plan better. For example, we may see certain anomalies that can be ascribed to pits or burial sites. And there, it would definitely be worth taking a closer look and digging. The grave is covered with a measuring grid. The researchers pull the antenna of the georadar system along the measuring profiles at a constant speed just above the surface of the ground. The unit emits radar waves at a frequency of about 50 Hz. The distance that the signal travels between the transmitter and the receiver antenna is measured and then converted into a measurement of the penetration depth into the soil. This method is used to produce radar profiles along the lines of the grid. Ultimately, this enables the researchers to generate maps of the grave at different depths, so-called radargrams, which they can use to identify structures underground and thus know in advance of the dig they are planning for this summer precisely how best to plan the layout of the dig. But why do the researchers want to find out as much as possible about the megalithic grave in advance of the dig? Dennis Demnik had an experience that provided an emphatic answer to that question 2 years ago. I can well remember how, when the THW, the Disaster Protection Task Force from Salzwedel, lifted the last stones off the burial chamber, the grave was suddenly gone. It had completely disappeared. So the grave had survived for 5,500 years, as we now know, and then we just came along and took it away, so to speak. Now it's standing again, having been rebuilt, but now it's just a memorial. The actual burial site has vanished. And it was at that moment that it really dawned on me, at least, that archaeology is also destructive, unfortunately. Even with the best intentions of wanting to preserve monuments, amass and gain knowledge. But that's a story that cut pretty close to the bone back then. But of course it was fun too, excavating the grave. But even with state-of-the-art scientific methods, the archaeologists can't completely avoid getting their hands dirty. While the researchers here are still busy with the georadar system, the dig in North Rhine-Westphalia is already in full swing.
Visit DFG Science TV for more information. Awaken the researcher within you.